Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session titled Choi Trumps, How UAE's largest supermarket chain achieved 100% growth with Yellow.ai. My name is Shekhar Murthy, and I'm the Senior Vice President handling solutions and professional services globally at Yellow Messenger. Yellow Messenger is the world's leading conversational experience platform, recognized by Gartner, IDC, and G2 Crowd as a leader. Yellow.ai brings the best of AI and human intelligence together to automate customer experience for large enterprises. Trusted by 500 plus global enterprises like Asian Development Bank, Domino's, Schlumberger, Sephora, PepsiCo, BMW, Yellow Messenger has clients spread across 30 different countries with chat and voice bots in 100 plus languages across 35 plus channels, including web, WhatsApp, in-app, IVR, contact center, and more. Basically, at Yellow Messenger, we aim to democratize AI by offering no-code, low-code bot builders, omni-channel virtual assistants, enterprise automation across consumer and employees. Yellow Messenger has also recently forayed into the key voice automation market, building intelligent AI-enabled voice assistants that empower enterprises to unify brand experience across channels, augmenting voice AI capabilities by enabling enterprises to transform voice automation and take the customer relationship to a whole new level. It is my pleasure today to introduce our distinguished speaker, Ashutosh. Ashutosh heads retail at Choi Trumps. As head of retail, Ashutosh is responsible to deliver sustained and profitable growth by defining and leading strategies for a superior customer experience, operational excellence, and stakeholder returns. Ashutosh is a senior management executive with 25 plus years of experience with leading companies. His expertise includes vision and strategy necessary to build and grow a business. He is skilled in creating networks, negotiating business terms, and establishing strategic partnership with international and local companies. He is focused to deliver high-performance processes enabled with IT transformation. He has excelled at partnering with internal business operations to collaborate and maximize financial and business ratios to deliver the best possible outcomes with the best-in-class customer service standards. He is an intuitive leader with a pulse on the customer's changing needs and building a highly committed and motivated team. Again, welcome, Ashutosh.
Thank you, Shekhar. Thank you for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be on this webinar with you.
Thank you. A little bit about Choi Trumps. Choi Trumps today is a successful group with business in diverse fields, including wholesale, commodity broking, and manufacture of edible and non-edible items. Their rich association brings to the group a huge bank of experience and resources. Choi Trumps came to UAE in 1974 and has grown to a retail chain with over 42 markets in the Emirates. Choi Trumps nurtures and protects the brand they sell. Brand building is a key passion at Choi Trumps, which they perform with their diligence and experience, professionalism of years in retail marketing. The efficiency of the chain and focus of the customer satisfaction was recognized when Choi Trumps was awarded the first ever Grocerer of the Year award in 2005 for overall experience in the field of food retailing. It was a true testament to the competence of Choi Trumps in successfully catering to the needs of a diverse population. Choi Trumps today has joined hands with Yellow Messenger in 2020 to reach out to their customers easily and efficiently, especially when the pandemic restrictions made customer interactions difficult. With that, Ashutosh, let me just jump in and get your insights into how did the business landscape pre and post pandemic change? How did your customer engagement look before and after the pandemic?
I think, Shekhar, a lot has been spoken on this pandemic-related times, and while each of us would put this behind, but somehow we are not able to still put it behind. So I don't know whether we are still in a post-pandemic scenario. It still seems that we are still ongoing to the pandemic scenario. Now, like everybody else, for us also the pandemic hit us by a surprise. I think more or less at a similar time last year, or somewhere around March is when we really started feeling the impacts of the pandemic. The initial months were obviously chaotic. Uh, Nobody knew what this pandemic exactly is, what is going to do to our consumers, what is going to do to our internal employees, our other stakeholders, our suppliers. What is the impact? Is it within UAE? Is it a global impact? I think all of us were guessing that. However, as an organization, we were able to stand up to the pandemic pretty fast in terms of reorganizing our operations to meet the over exceeding demand that we had from the month of March almost to the 6-8 months of last year, catering to our consumers, the additional walk-ins that we used to get. At one point of time, we used to say that looks as good as we are celebrating Ramadan, Eid, Diwali, Christmas, all the festivals together. Means uh, it was a huge impact, but at the same time, we had to be careful. We had to take care of our customers. We had to take care of our staff. We had to ensure that everybody is safe. It was not that we were not impacted or our employees were not impacted by the pandemic. We were, however, we had to open our stores every day in the morning, close them late at night. So I think it was an utter chaos. Means, looking back, when I think about what all we did to manage it, I think it just sends shivers down my spine because it was not an easy task asking managers to stand on floor when you know what can happen was really difficult. But I think all of them put together their best foot forward. And today, I think we are in a much better situation. We know what the pandemic impact is like. We know what we need to do. We know how to serve our customers now, how to manage them, how to treat them, how to ensure that their health and safety is taken care in our stores, how to meet the norms that are stipulated by the government agencies and the UAE bodies and ensure we are compliant with all of them. So I think the difference between the pre and the current situation, as I said, I'm not going to call this post-pandemic, but pre and the present situation, I think we have things under a much better control. I think that's the large difference. When a customer, even though the impact is much lesser of the pandemic now, the overall pandemic is also much under control in our country, in UAE. The consumer can come in freely and shop as if it was 2019. So it doesn't have to be worried about any of the issues that we might have had in the early 2020s.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ashutosh. Very aptly described from the standpoint, right? So it's not post, it's pre and present. I like the way you put that. So what has been the challenges in trying to reach out to the customers through the physical media before you kind of decided to adopt yourself to the changing landscape?
So Shekhar, if you look at the way we interact with our customers, I think, I would put it into three buckets. A large part of our interaction happens in stores on the ground, which we call as a face-to-face interaction. That I think is the most powerful way of communicating to the customer, the most inexpensive way as well. And the kind of bond that it builds, I think it's unparalleled and cannot be compared with the print or the digital media in spite of the millions or the billions of dollars that get spent. I think our biggest impact was there because, during the pandemic or once the pandemic started, that was one interaction which had to come to a complete standstill. In fact, we had to train staff on how to stay away from the customers. Yeah. If they have to interact, how do they maintain the distance and interact and keep the conversation as limited and as small as possible? So that was a big change. One of our biggest training is, smiling to a customer. Now that training couldn't be delivered because you had a mask on your face, on top of a shield on your face. So, it was a completely different scenario. And it was kind of unlearning what we have been doing for the last 20, 15 or whatever years of experience we have had in retail. Then the second level of interaction is, of course, the print, what we call as the ATL and BTL. Being a grocery business, we do a lot of BTL communication, in which is like distributing leaflets, distributing catalogs, and mostly through the print media, putting up advertisements. Now that also changed drastically because consumers, we are no longer taking newspapers. Newspapers were not getting delivered. We did not want to deliver leaflets and catalogs to consumers' homes due to the risk of spreading an infection unknowingly. So we had to put our safety standards in place, and we decided to stop the circulation. However, at the same time, it was important for the customers to know what is happening in our stores. What is available, what is not available, what are the store timings, because the timings also kept on changing week on week. As the restrictions change, as the government put on new rules and regulations, we had to adapt to them, and therefore delivering information to the customer was key. And that's where we started to move all our entire communication and conversation digital. It was not only to inform the customers of what is happening in Choi Trans, but also to inform the customers on what is happening overall. So you can say there was a 360-degree turn. From three mediums of communication, the only basket left for us was digital. Face strongest communication was at a 10% level, print came down to a 30% level, and digital grew to maybe 1,000% level.
Absolutely. And again, that kind of blends well into the next question that I had. So how did your customer engagement change during the pandemic? I mean, again, as you said, pretty much everything that you had traditionally done had to be changed overnight. Again, not a trivial exercise from that standpoint for a large conglomerate. So how did your customer engagement change? And then what did the customers really want from Choi Trans in the new normal?
So let me answer your second question first, in terms of what the customer expects in the new normal. I think the fact was clear. They needed a safe place. They needed an environment that they could trust. They could come in freely. Yeah. So that's what they needed. And that was the only objective. They were not really worried about, is their favorite brand of pasta available in the store? Yeah. They were worried about if they were able to shop in a safe environment. So small things like, are we cleaning our trolleys and baskets? Were we maintaining social standards? Were we managing the crowds coming into the stores? Yeah. Is our staff properly taking precautions? Were they wearing masks? Were they wearing shields and stuff like that? So they are very current. Even if you look at the current expectation is that means, are they safe in the stores that we're in? And that's what we assured them of. Yeah? From an operational standpoint, what changed was the home delivery. Our online orders and our home delivery again went entirely through the roof. So if you were doing 10 orders a day, of course you do much more than that, but I'm just giving an example. We're doing 10 orders a day. We started doing almost 50 orders a day. So again, overnight, that entire operational mechanism had to be changed. Means we had to add in people. We had to move from people from current processes to picking processes. We had to add new vehicles. We had to add, last mile delivery partners. So that's one large change that that we had to do to service our customers. From a marketing standpoint, I think the biggest change that we did was engage with a company like yourself to deliver the communication. So we moved completely from the print media to a digital media, and we adopted, WhatsApp for Business. I think somewhere around May and June. So that's how early we were to react to the situation, because March and April is when the pandemic really hit us, and within 1 month we were able to together tying up with your company. Of course, it was not that we only evaluated Yellow Messenger, we evaluated many of your competitors, and then having had the comfort levels and the level of confidence that you gave us, we ended up tying up with your company in June, and we moved our entire communication. We did in interacting with our customers. We almost moved our communication 100% digital.
Got it. And then obviously, conversational AI has been there, right? I mean, again, it was not a new concept, but I think especially pioneers like you. Again, as you rightly said, the pandemic kind of hit March, April, and there you were already implementing the latest in the cutting edge technology. What made you explore conversational AI as a solution? And I know you briefly talked about Yellow Messenger as a partner, but what made you select Yellow Messenger as a key partner in this transformation? Because a lot rested on the success of this program.
Absolutely, I think it was your expertise and experience in the field, and I think when we were interacting, many times what matters is the comfort level that you have between two partners on how we are able to achieve this set objectives. Uh, the time was also unprecedented. You also had challenges of your own. We had challenges of us, and we needed someone who was reliable and who could execute our requirements fast. Now, it was not like the conversational AI was not used by us initially. So we were using it informally. All our store managers had their own informal WhatsApp groups of regular customers, who they could send the relevant offers and communications. However, it was not formal. It was not organized. It was not localized. So we needed something, which could formalize that entire process, because moving our entire communication process online, needed a lot of changes operationally. So we needed a partner who we can depend upon, and that's what we saw in Yellow Messenger, a partner that we could depend upon, and that's the reason why we did the selection. Uh, why digital? I guess we did not really have an option. Now, would you say it was a well thought of strategy? I'll be honest, it was not. At that point of time, this is what we felt as was the best strategy, available strategy, which would maintain our communication lines with the consumer. Now, having worked on it and seen it in the last 12, 15 months, I keep on saying to myself, why didn't we think about it before? Yeah, and for multiple reasons. It's convenient. It's convenient for us as a user. As a supplier, you could say, and it's convenient for our customers as well. They have the communication on their phones, and they can see it and read it at any point of time. They can refer it to it after a month, which doesn't happen with the leaflets and catalogs that we send. Yeah, the accuracy level is extremely high. When we used to distribute the leaflets and catalogs, we didn't know that, are we reaching the 30,000, 40,000 households in which we are giving it to? Yeah. In this case, we know that every message, every notification that we send is delivered to the person. If it's not, we know how many delivered, and we can go back to the consumer and ask them. And one of the most important things is localization. It's like, all stores are not the same. Some of our stores are based in premium areas where their likes and dislikes are different. And some of them stores are in a different area. So let's say I have a store which has more of the Indian expats, whereas in other store I have more of the locals over there. Now I can localize my communication. So for Ramadan, maybe I can send communication which is more for the locals. Diwali and Indian customers. So that kind of a localization could be done through this new medium of WhatsApp interaction, or that we are doing today through Yellow Messenger.
Absolutely makes sense. And I'm sure, obviously, even after the implementation, probably there were initial challenges faced, right? So maybe can you comment a little bit about how, even after migrating to WhatsApp as a communication channel, what kind of challenges did you face and how did you go about solving them?
I think the biggest challenge was getting customers on board. Yeah. They were used to getting it informally in some way, a large part of it. And as we know, there are, almost everybody has gone onto it, and customers receive a whole lot of information on WhatsApp and many other social media channels. So first thing was convincing the customers that, this is a channel which will be beneficial for you. Having done that, the second part was ensuring that we don't clog the customers with unnecessary information. So we had to be careful of what we communicate, the frequency in which we communicate, and how we communicate. So the initial setbacks were there because, as you are aware, as a process, everything that we communicate needs to be approved by the WhatsApp governing body or the WhatsApp office. So those approaches on how we communicate that was initially our challenges, but I think our teams worked beautifully over there. I think they worked together, and with your support and help, we were able to understand the nuances of how do we design and do our communications. That was the second part. The third part was, I think every number has a limitation on how many notifications that can be sent or how many numbers can be registered. Which kind of added up operational complexity on our side, because we were not expecting the kind of growth that we got. We moved from hundreds of customers per store or whatever on WhatsApp, on an informal WhatsApp network, to a 5-digit number overnight. Literally overnight. I mean, we were not expecting that kind of acceptance from our consumers. Means somebody got it, they referred to their friend, that friend referred to another, and it was just like a worm, and it just kept on spreading. So we are not prepared of it. So now adjusting our operational to manage 2-3 different numbers and managing the communication on that, I think was a challenge. But I think today we are able to do that. Today we are able to do that. We have been able to cluster our communication accordingly. We know the kind of growth that we are going to get. So I think our team has already listed a couple of more numbers. We know in the next month or so, we are going to exceed the limit that we have on our existing numbers. So it's pretty well placed. It was a good learning, and I think with your participation and cooperation, we were able to kind of resolve those hindrances that we had in the initial stages.
That's great to hear your candid feedback, Ashutosh. So how has this solution impacted your teams and also the customer experience? Because I'm sure it's a large change for everybody involved.
Yeah.
So how has it impacted your teams and the overall customer experience?
From an impact, Shekhar, if I have to say, operationally, it has reduced our timelines to deliver and develop a communication. So earlier, what used to happen in the print media, we needed to give anywhere between 4 days to 7 days for that entire thing to get printed and then get distributed. Now those 7 days are not required, because I can finalize a communication 2 days or maybe 24 hours earlier, get it approved and communicate it. So those timelines have reduced drastically for us. So operationally, that's what has helped us. The second is what I mentioned earlier was the localization. Now we are able to communicate at a local level. So if one store is doing a particular activity, we are able to communicate that activity for that particular store. So from a customer experience, now he gets what is in his catchment, because the customers are also divided by catchment. So in our stores, we do the registration by stores. So if, let's say, Shekhar is staying in Karama and he's registered to a store in Karama, he gets only the communication for Karama. He will not get the communication for our Abu Dhabi store. Yeah. So in that sense, the customer gets targeted communication, which has improved his experience. The last but not the most important part, our cost of communication at district has reduced drastically. Yeah, and it has really come down. Our cost of print was in dirhams, and our cost of communication now is in fils. Yeah, so that's the kind of reduction that we have seen. And what has happened is we are able to communicate more. We are able to communicate more on other social media platforms, on WhatsApp, and therefore improve the customer benefit as well.
Did you expect from this deployment that from a notifications perspective, you would go from like thousands to hundreds of thousands, right? I mean, again, was that an expectation when you started out, when you implemented this?
No, not at all. Not at all. It really happened all of a sudden. As I said, the entire exercise was knee-jerk, which we adopted very fast and converted into a strategic initiative. So every store had a target to look at customers, to see how many customers can be onboarded on this platform. But more than that, the growth that we got from one customer referring to his friend and so on and so forth. So it was completely unexpected, and I don't know how we managed it, but we have now a very stable and organized way of communication, which is extremely effective.
Fantastic, great. Ashutosh, it was definitely a pleasure having you with us, and truly appreciate your valuable insights. Kudos to your team that has taken on this challenge and successfully made it work and kind of somewhat set an example for others to follow. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Shekhar. Thank you very much.